Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wednesday's Dan's album analysis and rating. But today it's Dan and Jake's album analysis and rating. So I got my good friend here, Jake, not from State Farm, to join me with this. It's going to be something today. So, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Dan. I'm doing great. It's more than we can say for our album we're
Yeah.
ranking.
So, he had suggested an album which I already had done, which I think was Warrant Dog Eat Dog. And I'm like, well, why
Yep,
don't we try? And then I'm going to show the album here, but you probably know. And I think we may have different covers of this.
I think so.
So yeah, Wicked Wonderland by Lita Ford. So he had suggested this to me, and I was like, okay. Now the catch is, I love Lita Ford. The catch is, this is Lita Ford with her then husband Jim Gillette. If you don't remember who Jim Gillette is, he is the guy that it's gave a new ass an asshole back when I did the Nitro review for the first Nitro album, and I was like, oh my god, this guy again. So I listened. I said, you know what? Let's do it. It could be fun. I will honestly say I did not have as much fun as I did listening to Nitro One for different reasons. And to quote Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation. I don't know if you ever seen the episode where Tom wants to suggest John Ralphio as Ron's assistant, and then after that, Ron goes to Tom, goes, "I want to punch you in the face so hard right now." That's what I want to do to Jake right now. I was like,
I want to do
"Oh my
that to
god!"
myself listening to this. There was there was a thing I noticed on this album. It's like a dial-up sound, like they made all the guitars and electronics sound squeaky and staticky like dial-up internet. And I was
Yes.
like, this is terrible. And it goes throughout the whole album.
Well, do you know what this album sonically reminds me of? Uh,
What?
Vince Neil carved in stone.
Kind of. It's
It,
that
it's
night that
it's the
late 90s
closest thing I can
industrial
think of.
vibe.
What's that?
That late 90s industrial
Oh my
vibe.
God, it's just, and to me it's like, hey, Vince's album totally flopped. Let's try that again. Anyway, it's Lita Ford, but it's not Lita Ford. So what we're gonna do is, like I said, you know the rules for these Wednesday episodes. The viewers suggest an album for me to do a rating on, and then when he suggested this to me, it goes, "You're gonna join me for this. I'm not gonna suffer with this one alone." So, so
I,
we'll have fun with this one. So this came out in 2009, produced by Greg Hampton, Lita Ford, and you guessed it, Jim Gillette. This came out on Ear Music. Who's on the album? You got Lita Ford on guitar and vocals, Jim Gillette on vocals. I didn't say background vocals, I said vocals. Okay. Greg Hampton on guitar, background vocals, and oh, sorry, guitar, bass, and keyboards. Stet Howland. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was in Wasp on drums, and also Chris Collier on drums also. So that is who's on this album. And we decided what, a couple days ago, starting to listen to this album just to get ourselves in the mood, not in the mood, but in the we were never in the mood. Um, but 3 days ago, and I'm like, and then I went on Wikipedia and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm missing 4 songs on this album. So I go to Jake. I was like, do you have these extra 4 songs? There was 4 extra songs, and Jake said it actually. Well, you could probably say about the YouTube thing.
yeah.
What did
This
you tell me?
album's not that good. No one's uploaded it to YouTube at all. These
No,
songs do not exist on YouTube.
it's so badly received. I couldn't even find it on YouTube, and I said, I'm not paying. I'm not downloading it on iTunes. I'm not paying again for this, and I don't have a Spotify account, so I wasn't going to go there. But yeah, like, and she disowns this album now. So anyway, we'll go song by song. So, oh, usually vinyl, it's no secret now that when you're transferring something from a CD to a vinyl, if you don't put it as a double vinyl, you're going to miss out some songs. This is one of those rare times when this is better with songs missing. To a point, and more on that later on. But yeah, there's less songs. There's 11 songs on the vinyl. There's 15 songs on the CD. So Jake was nice enough to send me last four. And I used the word nice enough and I roll my eyes, but
Loosely.
they'll probably be deleted after this episode. Anyway, let's go and do our album analysis for this gem of an album. Lita Ford, Wicked Wonderland. So, song number 1, we got Crave. What did you get? What did you give for this one?
You know, this song starts off, it doesn't start off terrible. It has this kind of nice drum intro with some heavy riffing. They're very industrial though. But then, and this is a theme that happens with some of these songs, they start out decent and then they get consumed by this staticky sound and it just like takes a giant dump all over everything. And these lyrics throughout. Some 12-year-old could have wrote better lyrics. It's like a 12-year-old just found pornography and it's a BDSM site. And that's what he's writing. They're not good lyrics. They're bad lyrics. Um, but Crave is not the worst song on this album.
No,
Um, and when Jim Gillette comes on and starts singing, I singing very. It's not the Jim Gillette of Nitro. For anyone
not
expecting
all the time. Oh,
first, yeah.
very little, but he's got a different voice, but that's
Hmm.
not.
He sounds constipated.
Yes, very nasally.
Yes. I gave this one a 5. And it sounds bad because I just took a shit all over this whole song. Um, but this is one of the better songs I thought on here, and I gave it a 5.
Yeah, it's myself. I actually gave it a 5 also. Uh, it's again, if I'm just gonna say this right now, if you're looking for typical Lita Ford, you will not find this here. I'm not kidding when I say this is comparable to Vince Neil Carved in Stone. It's industrial. Where are the guitars? I mean, there's one or two songs with guitar. Where the hell are the guitars? Like it's all computerized guitars,
Hmm.
basically. Like you said earlier, like this was very computerized, sounding like your dial-up or I
Hmm.
yeah, I gave it a 5. It's okay, but again, it doesn't sound like Lita Ford at all, I find. So
No.
5 also for me for Crave. Okay, next up we have Peace. Not peace, but a piece of something. And then in brackets, hell yeah. What'd you give that one?
I gave this one a two. Yeah, was it a 2? No, a 4. A 4. I gave this one a 4. It has some really great blues guitar that I felt like carried it. But this one's also like I call it self wank. Lita Ford's kind of jerking herself off and talking about how great she is in bed and she's really, really good. And if you like her, say hell yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's childish, it's immature, it's but that blues guitar riffs in there, I really like that, and that was its saving grace. I gave it a 4.
Hmm. Well, you know what? I gave it a 4 also. Great minds think alike. Yeah? I know we're not going to have same scores all around, but your little thing about the bedroom, I'm going to read a quote. Uh, blah, blah, blah. Where did I? Oh, yeah. These songs are my version of that. They're all about my life. Well, the parts that happen when the kids are in bed and my husband and I get into the boudoir. And I was like, yeah, I didn't want to know that part, but yeah, you're right with the lyrics because it's and she's even said it right there. So yeah, okay for what it is. I'm also giving it a 4, and it probably will get worse. Well, there's man, we'll get to that there. Okay, next one. We've talked about this one many times, Jake and I. Song number 3 is Patriotic SOB. What'd you give that one?
I gave this a -1. I wish I could give it, if there's a way to give it something lower, I would. Musically, it's not terrible,
Yeah,
but this commits a crime, like one of the biggest crimes. I'm not one of these guys that's like, "Oh, America, yeah." Um, and especially mixing sex and patriotism together, you just shouldn't do that. My idea of government is government bad. Dave Mustaine writes a fire song about how he hates it. That's my idea of
yeah.
politics in a song. Tell me how terrible it is. Not how great it is, and then mix sex in. And Jim Gillette's like also self-wanking himself because he's talking about how great he is, and or well, Lita's talking about how great he is in here. It's terrible. I hate this song. I hate everything about the lyrics. Like, you forget that there's music going because you're just sitting there.
There's little kids, I pledge allegiance to the.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing that, by the way, in a song. Wasn't that
Yeah.
like, I know Wasp did it in School Days way
That,
back in '84.
mm-hmm.
Now, this is what, 2009, and we're still doing this. I pledge
Mm-hmm.
allegiance. And then there's the Star Spangled Banner with the guitar in the middle of the song. So you gave it a -1?
Yeah, I gave it a -1. Even like if you look at the booklet, I don't know, does yours have this? The lyric sheet for this is really embarrassing too.
Let me. No, I
She's
only get like.
wrapped in an American flag in like a Statue of Liberty pose with like a wasteland behind her, and it's just
Oh, I know at the time, like any other artist, she's been like, oh yeah, that's one of my heaviest albums, and then 5, 6 years later, she disowns this album.
it's not good. I just
See, I gave it a 4. It's
okay.
not great, but it's a little bit of plagiarism, if you ask me. At part there's a song from Vince Neil on his Exposed album, Sister of Pain. You know, and I rap down, stick him out, stick it up, dude. Isn't that the chorus to
Yeah,
Patriotic SOB?
yeah.
And I was like, and then every time I hear it, I'm like, I can't unhear that Vince Neil. I was like, you literally just took basically the same, maybe not the same words, but the same sentence. Well, there's a few words the same, but the sentence structure, like the
That's,
syllables and all that, the same
mhm.
musically. Everything is the same. I was like, okay, but whatever. It's not a. Again, like you said, musically it's not bad, but yeah, the lyrics are just very babyish and dumb.
Mhm.
So yeah, I gave it a 4. And you gave it a -1. I'm just writing them down at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, next up, Scream for Me.
I didn't hate this one. The song is stupid, but it's like musically it's not as cringy as like some of the stuff that comes after. Um, but the thing is it's very computer generated. It sounds very computerized, and there's just nothing memorable about this song at all. I gave this song a 3. It's just, on any other album, I feel like a 3 would be a terrible thing.
Uh-huh.
But on this, it's par for the
Yeah, I
course.
know. You're like, oh my God, I need to give something good. I need to say something good. I don't
Uh-huh.
um I gave it a 5. Again,
Okay.
it's a song to me. I'm gonna say something. You said something that just I'm actually gonna say it now. None of these songs are memorable. To me, there's no song that stands out. It's just one big mess. Like, but I remember, like, I listened to it. I don't remember loving it. I gave it a 5, but nothing special. The production is at fault, one, and the other vocalist is the other problem. Anyway, 5 and a 3 for this one. Next up, Inside.
Jim is singing on this one. Oh boy, he didn't sing on the last one. Maybe that was why the other one was a little bit better, was there was no Jim Gillette. Um, and he's singing I want to feel you from the inside, and it's where I want to be is inside you, or something like that. I mean, again, a 12-year-old, he just discovered sex and pornography, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Ooh, my parents are Catholic, and they don't let me watch this stuff, and they hate it that I do. I'm going to express myself by writing these really bad lyrics." But these are 50-year-old adults at the
yeah,
time they
uh,
wrote this. It's bad. It's
yeah.
cringy. It's embarrassing. The music isn't bad, but it just like I said, it's this is a sad, terrible song. I gave it two.
Okay. Well, me too. I wrote, it's a boring song I found. And you're right with that Jim Gillette. I wrote, it's a duet, basically,
Hmm.
with him and Lita Ford singing. There's a sound, there's an electronic sound that sounds familiar in it, and it gets repeated a lot. And I'm like, what is that sound? I've heard it somewhere before. Yeah, it's a repetitive. Is that the
Um,
dial-up thing or I don't?
yeah, but I think it reminds me of do you have Jugulator by Judas Priest?
Yes.
There's a sound similar to that on Dead Meat, I think.
Okay, I'll have to revisit that one.
But it always reminds me of that dial-up, like, when you'd go,
Yeah, yeah.
you've got mail.
Yeah, I just find the song boring. I gave it a 2 also, but there's that familiar sound that just again, it's a computer generated one, but yeah, another duet with this here, but yeah, 2 for that. Also, next up, Wicked Wonderland.
This song starts off again dark and heavy, and it's not bad, but then it's just like the lyrics come in, and you're like, man, guys, what is going on? You know, you don't need to tell us what you guys do in your private life. We don't want to know. And they go all out
Oh
kind of
yeah.
here with their BDSM themes in this song. But musically, I feel like, and this is sad, it's one of their stronger songs. Um, I gave it a four. I feel like it's one of their stronger songs. I gave it a
Yeah,
four.
that. I gave it a 5. I didn't mind, and I'm not saying the word love or like. I said I did not mind the chorus. The chorus is catchy, like it's probably the thing I remember the most. But it's also like me remembering that Rebecca Black song Friday. It's stuck in your head, but you don't want it.
Mhm.
Same thing with
Yep.
this Wicked Wonderland. It's one of the better choruses, but
The
I
whole
gave I gave
song
it a
is just it
5.
has a
Yeah.
heavy beat, and it's just one of the better songs on here. Um, they didn't overdo the static effects on this one.
Hmm.
It just I felt like it was one of yeah.
All right, I gave it a 5 and you gave it a 4. Next up, Indulge. And these friggin' one word titles, by the way, was just I hate it. Again, it doesn't stick out for me. Like it it, it all sounds the same to me. Anyway, Indulge.
This has this when it's not getting overpowered by all the other noise and
Hmm.
static and computer affairs in here. There's some actually fun bass bits in here that drive this song, and I really like that. It was deep, thick, heavy bass, but then it'll come along again, and they just take a dump on something decent when they get it going, and they just fill it with that static again, and that static runs the entire album. and this one does that too, and it sounds extra fuzzy on here to
Mm,
me. Um, I gave Indulge a -1
minus
because that they had that nice bass go, and then they would just drop the static, and then they would go back to that, and that back and forth really gave me a headache. I gave it a
one.
-1 for that.
I gave it a 4. I don't even have any comments written beside it. I'm just like, it must have been really forgettable. Like it's to me, it's all, like I said, I'll say it again. It's no songs really stand out again, for except maybe for that Wicked Wonderland chorus, but not in a
Mhm.
good way. It's all one big staticky mess. I find from a song 1 to 15, and yeah, we're not done yet. So yeah, Indulge. I gave it a. Oh yeah, we're doing Indulge, right? Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote nothing beside that. So okay, 4 and -1. Next up, Love.
This one starts off good and heavy, and I have the next thing I have written here in quotes is there's a line. Love me so good it burns so deep inside. Pretty sure that's an STD, not being loved well.
You paid more attention to the lyrics than I did because I was just.
They were jumping out how bad they were. Musically, this is sadly better than some of the other stuff on here, but it's just the second half of the song just divulges into that static and it just does not let up. Um, I gave this one another -1.
All right, I gave it a 4. I wrote similar to SOB, and I'm reading it and I don't remember why I wrote it again, just because these songs are so forgettable. Like I told Jake before, I said I listened to this album once just to make sure it worked because I got it used, and I listened to it 3 or 4 times just for this episode, and I'm like, nothing hardly stuck here, like. So yeah, Love gets a 4. I wrote similar to SOB. I'm thinking I'd have to go and re-listen to the song to figure out why I wrote that. But then I'm thinking, no, I'm not going to do that. There's no way I'm going to go and re-listen to this after that. But okay, a 4 and a -1. Next up, Betrayal.
Betrayal. We get high Jim Gillette in the intro. He's got those high
Yeah.
nitro vocals. In fact, my notes here say, did you ever want to hear what Nitro sounded like as a 90s industrial band? This song is Nitro doing a 90s industrial. There is nothing Lita Ford about this song.
Yeah.
It's an exercise in excess and overindulgence. Everything about this is Nitro to me.
Yeah.
I gave it a 2.
All right.
It's
Close. Close to me. I gave it a 3. It's it, is this the one where like all the other songs are about them being together? This one kind of like them being apart. It just, I'm like, are they in a fight here, or are they not together anymore? I know they're not together anymore now, but holy frick, that was a weird coupling, by the way. Even back then when it happened, I was like, him, Lita, come on, him.
Mhm.
Yeah, I gave it a 3, and you gave it a 2.
Yep.
It's the lyrics just to me sounded, I don't know, not with the theme of the rest of the album, if you know what I mean there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So okay, 3 to 2. Next up, Sacred.
This one starts off sounding like a blues ballad,
Mm-hmm.
but we're 10 songs in and everything turns to pure and utter garbage at some point. I keep waiting for this song to get bad. Like you're sitting there and you're like, this isn't a bad song. This is actually kind of pretty. This is a nice ballad.
Hmm.
When are they going to come in and take a poop all over
Yeah,
this
when are they
thing,
going
you
to
know?
destroy it?
But they actually don't. This is actually, I think, a pretty song. I don't think it's bad. I actually really enjoyed this song. I gave it a 7. It was a nice ballad.
Wow.
I thought it was a good song, but I kept waiting. Like,
Same here. You're waiting for the other leg to drop, huh? I actually wrote, I gave it a 6, and that's so far, that's my highest also. And I even wrote, it's the most different sounding song of the album. It's, and you're right, actually not too bad. Like, again, it's not great. Let's call a spade. But it's the song that sounds the most different and real and almost real instruments. If you
mhm.
So yeah, I gave it a 6. I thought it was the most, well, everything was garbage. This is garbage with Febreze, I
Better
guess.
garbage.
Garbage with Febreze. There you go. Okay, so 6 and a 7. Next, one, two, three, five more songs, guys. I, uh, by the way, before we were talking, Jake and I, before we started recording, we were like, wasn't this a big chore to listen to? I actually feel it's a big chore just going through these songs again. I was like, next one, next one. But all in the name of entertainment here. Okay, next up is Truth.
This is back to static sounds. And I don't know it's like they found the worst Pro Tools and programming equipment they could, and they thought it was a great idea to use that. I don't know. I want to know what the truth was behind these static decisions with this
Mhm.
that. I gave this song 2 because it's just there's a nice drum bridge part in there where the bridge has this really nice drum bit
Yeah.
solo kind of. But other than that, the rest of the song is completely forgettable.
So you gave it a 2. I gave it a 3. Again, I didn't write anything beside it. I just. Oh, by the way, that would have been the last song on the album on the vinyl.
You're so lucky. You
Yeah.
don't have to suffer if you have
Well, I still
vinyl.
suffered because you sent me those 4 other
You're
songs.
welcome.
But yeah, I gave it a 3. You gave it a 2. Uh, Again, I don't even. There was no wow moment. Well, there's no wow moment in this whole album. But there's no. Oh yeah, I remember how that went. Again, it's now that I think about it, the only thing that's really memorable is that Wicked Wonderland chorus to me, and maybe the Star Spangled Banner and Patriotic SOB, whatever. Okay, 3 and 2 for this. Now we're going into the 4 bonus tracks. Um, the first one being Everything.
This one sounds weird because when Jim starts singing, what's it called? They get cancer from smoking.
Okay.
The laryngectomy. Yeah, I think
Oh
that's what they
God.
call it. And he's like, because he starts rapping and he's like, I didn't die from the smoking and can't, you know, he kind of sounds like that. It's how much more robotic can we make this album? Oh, now Jim sounds like he's got one of those, things. It just, I hated this song. Everything you love, everything you hate, like that's a lyric in here.
Yeah.
I gave this a 3. It wasn't absolute dog poop, but it was still dog poop.
I'll admit that these 4 songs you sent me, I listened to them once each. I was like, I'm done. Um, but you're right about that robot thing because I actually wrote computerized. It sounded so computerized. And again, I'm saying, where's the guitar? More to come on that. Okay. But yeah, everything I gave it a 2. It's, I was just like, no. Okay. Okay, next up, I have a lot to say about the next one.
Oh,
Bed.
me too.
Bed. Number 13 is Bed.
It's bad. It's childish. There's a lyric that Lita says early on, "You want to lick my fire?" What? What does
Almost
that
sounds like a
even
Gene
mean?
Simmons lyric there.
And then Jim Gillette, "Spank me 'cause I like it. I'm a bad boy who needs to be punished." Or, no, no, please stop. Please, please, no. We do not want to tie me up to the bed until the break of dawn or something.
Mm,
No, no, guys. You're getting your songwriting privileges taken away. It's done. It's over. This is bad. This is Mm-mm. You guys are 50-year-old adults with children.
yeah.
We don't want to hear about you breaking out the fly swatter or whatever weirdness you're doing. And no, I don't need to hear about Jim Gillette's hairy ass being spanked ever again. I don't want to hear this. Um, and this is 6 minutes long, almost 7 minutes.
Almost 7 minutes, yes.
And the stupid thing at the back half, the weirdness goes away and they just turn into this weird, well, it's not weird, it's a nice actual solo, and the whole back half could have been its own song, an
Yeah.
instrumental, and it would have been something decent, but it's this long protracted mess. I don't know if I want to give this a one or a two. I'm giving it a -1 because I don't want to ever hear these lyrics ever again.
All right. So this one, I gave it a 4. I wrote, it's not a bad, and when I say not a bad chorus, again, I'm not a lyric guy, but I did enjoy the vocal melody, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, their song has way too much Jim Gillette again, and it's too long a song. Like I wrote, it's almost 7 minutes long. But when I said, where's the guitar? This is the only song, basically. Is this the only guitar solo she does? Almost like to a point, I'm like, was there even a guitar solo? Like, I'm not saying she's a Joe Satriani or Eddie Van Halen, but she still can play very well. This
Mm-hmm.
was actually the most talented. I did love that guitar solo outro. It's long. I was like, oh my god! Like when you sent me this, I'm like, how long is this effing song? And I'm like, oh my god, there's still 2 minutes left. I'm like, Jesus Christ! It's I did like the second half, like you said. It should have been a song or an instrumental or whatever there. It's basically the only song with some good guitar on it. Or some guitar, period.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all the other ones are just all the other guitars are mixed with below with some industrial sounding. It just does again, listen to Vince Neil if you guys have Vince Neil carved in stone, this pretty much is exactly the same type of sounding album. So I gave it a 4 and you gave it a -1. Two more guys. Bear with us. I'm sure we're not gonna give I'm sure people are not gonna go rush and buy this album after this review.
I don't think anyone. So I bought this
Even if
album.
you're still watching this at this point, guys, you're like, okay, this is to me, it actually gets better. And I'll have but sorry, I cut you off there. What were you gonna say?
You posted you were listening to this on your vinyl of the day on Instagram.
Yes, way back.
Yes, and I ended up buying it because I was like, oh, it's been so long. I should review this album. That would be such a bad time. It'd be so bad it's good. And I originally had a burn CD and I listened to that burn CD once and I threw it away. I bought this for $2 on Discogs, and
Wow.
the shipping was more than the
Yeah,
album.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember when I did the Nitro, the
Hmm.
vinyl was they were selling it for $3.99, but the shipping was like $20. I'm like, oh, I'm not buying that. Again, guys, if you're in the music industry and Jim Gillette approaches you, stay away. There's nothing ever good comes out. It either comes out as a big joke or a piece of turd like this is here. Two more songs, guys. Next up, Garden.
I wrote it's not bad. Honestly, this is a a pretty stable, decent track,
Yeah.
but it's like it might be a filler track on most albums, and on here, it's actually a bit one of the better songs on the whole album, I feel like.
Mhm.
It's sad. It still does nothing for me. I don't feel like, oh, I want to go listen to Garden. Oh,
No,
this part was great or this stuck with me. I don't have a moment in this song that I remember. But the amazing thing, I don't have a moment in this song where I was like, oh, that's bad. Please make it stop
you're
either.
right.
Um, I gave Garden a 3. Yeah.
A three, okay. I gave it a six, and actually said it's one of the better songs on the album. Having said that, when the rest of the album is total shit, that doesn't this is not a Grammy Award winning song, you know. But yeah, I wrote it's like one of the better songs. So I'm like, why was this taken out of the vinyl portion? Like, there's a lot of garbage I had to go through this here. So I mean, two songs I agree. I'm okay with them not having them on my vinyl, but the last two. So anyway, I gave it a six. I'll say more about the last song, and you gave it a three. But yeah, I, I didn't find it bad. Notice I didn't say I didn't find it good either. I didn't find it bad. All right, last song, guys. Push.
Push. This is the same as Garden. I don't find it cringe or wanting to make me shut it off, and I also didn't enjoy it. The other thing, though, that I want to point out is when Jim Gillette sings and he's like, push, 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 push. It sounds like he's like on the toilet, constipated, reassuring himself he needs to push that turd out.
You
Like
can do it.
he's on the yeah, he's in the home stretch and he knows he made a pile of turd with this album, and he's like, we gotta push this album out.
Time
Push,
to let it out. Yeah,
push. Yeah,
that's a good
it just
analogy.
um, but it's this album just the song in this whole album just was not a fun experience. It's a
No.
memorable one. But there's definitely some suffering. I gave Push a 2, and I said I would have given it a lot higher had Jim not sung at all on there.
Hmm. I gave it a six also, and I wrote, why were the last two songs taken off the vinyl? Again, I'm not saying that these songs are, anthems or Grammy Award winning songs, but with all the other crap that they left on the vinyl, why were those two last ones taken off? So again, it wasn't it was one of the better ones, but again, that's saying that piece of shit smells better than that piece of shit, like anyway, yeah, six for me and two for you. Now, what is your total out of 10 for this album?
Well, if I did the math correctly, it comes out to 2.5.
Which makes sense, and mine is 4 out of 10. Now, I'm going to say this, and I don't know if you agree. This is not a Lita Ford album. This should have been a
No.
band.
Yeah.
Has It sounds nothing like Lita Ford. It sounds it's I even wrote this album should have been called, it's instead of Wicked Wonderland, should have been called How to Set Your Career Back 10 Years 101.
Mhm.
It's uh, I mean, I know I'm a completist for collecting albums. I'm gonna like Let me put it this way, guys. Doc and Shadow Life. There are three songs I love on that. And I use the word love loosely. Bullet Boys, Acid Monkey. There's one song I love. Like there's always this has no redeeming value. I mean, I don't even know if this would burn if I put it in the fireplace. It would be like, even the fire would be like, no, 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 I don't want this. I don't know. It's but she did came back with Living Like a Runaway, which is actually quite good. This is just, do not base this album um, on Lita Ford's career. This is just a lapse of judgment, musically and romantically, I will say. And this marriage ended badly. If you follow gossip and all that, there, I've never liked Jim Gillette since I heard Nitro, and when I heard this, I'm just like, oh. The only reason I bought it, well, I found it used. Now I see why it was in the used bin. It was very cheap, by the way, but yeah, 4 out of 10 and 2.5 out of 10. But to me, it's just one big mess.
It is.
Nothing stands out. Any final words you want to say for this album here?
I hope people watch this.
Yeah, let's
And when they watch this, their takeaway is these guys have suffered enough. Let's not go dig in the dumpster
yeah.
and pull this out and listen to it.
Mind
Or
you,
if they do, I want to hear how much they suffered too listening to this.
or does is there anybody out there that actually likes this album? I don't,
That's the one.
no judgment,
No.
but I just find it amazing at how close our ratings were. And
Mm-hmm.
the comments were like the mostly different sounding song. Sacred sounded the most.
Yeah.
The last two, one of the better songs of the album or the album. Like it's, I was looking at the pattern wise. Everything we sure that the ratings were not maybe, but every song we listened to, I thought amazingly we actually agreed basically on every song, how
Mm-hmm.
bad or not so bad or not very good they are.
Yeah.
Fair to say?
I think that's very fair to say. And we really didn't like, because I started listening to this when I proposed doing this. I was like, okay, this is an album I might have to do in chunks. I don't know if I can like process this album.
Oh man, I was just like listening.
So I started that a long time ago, and then you asked me earlier last week, last week if I was ready to record this, and I
It's
was like,
Sunday,
yeah,
yeah.
uh-huh. And then I put it on for one more go this morning, and I felt like I needed a drink by track 5.
I when I messaged you about those four missing tracks, I was kind of hoping secretly you would say, "Let's just skip those four." But after I was like, but I'm
That is
in
such a
hindsight, I'm glad we
dumpster.
didn't because
That is such a dumpster fire, though. It's
yeah, it's again any Lita Ford's out fans out there. This to me is just a very it's a don't judge her career by this album. There's so much like everything else she's done is actually pretty good. From good to great. This is just no.
even
And
the
yeah,
oh,
even the cover. It's see, this is yeah. There you go. And the back for me is this,
yeah, just
and this.
yeah, the whole and the art direction was done by Piggy D, Rob Zombie's longtime bass player, who's with what is that band he's with? He's Ash Costello of New Year's Day and him. I
No
can't remember what
wonder.
it's called. But yeah, he's big into horror and stuff, and this is like, Lita Ford's not known for that style. He's very dark,
Oh no,
gothic,
no,
horror
she
centric.
fun
And
rocker usually, and this is
yeah,
just like
and so why would you get him to do a Lita Ford album cover?
to me it should have been a band like
Yeah.
Lita Ford or Jim Gillette Project as opposed to a
Like,
Lita Ford
well,
album.
they couldn't call it the Jim Gillette Project because no one would buy it.
True. But we all knew he was on that. I knew at the time. I just anyway. So folks, this is the last time I'm gonna listen to this album. This is gonna go in my collection and not even gonna touch it anymore. This is just so bad. Anyway, that's my opinion, and I'm thinking Jake's gonna be the same opinion.
I'm going to find a way to pay the extreme tariffs and mail my CD to
Yeah,
you.
But yeah, there's our rating, guys. So, and believe it or not, you thought this was going to be the end of Jim Gillette. Not in the next month. I have another um, album someone suggested and they wanted to do with me, Nitro 2, Hot, Wet, Dripping with Sweat. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are killing me. But, I'm a good sport. We're going to hopefully have fun with this one. This one was the Nitro one. I've listened to it already. It's not as bad as this. I'm just going to say that. But yeah, this is just wow. So anyway, stay tuned for that. And next month, there'll be another Nitro episode. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that. But after that, folks, whoever is requesting any more Jim Gillette is going to get a hard no. I'm done with this guy. This Nitro was fun. This was not fun. It was a chore.
It was.
It was like, it's like, do I want to listen to this Lita Ford album or do I want to go take out the trash? It's like, I don't know which one I want to do. Anyway, it's like that. Anyway, enough about this album now. Thank you guys for watching. I want to thank Jake for this suggestion. And I know
you're thanking me like this
anymore, but check out. I'm going to put his channel link on the bottom. Check it out. There's some good stuff there. He's newly started there, so give him a shout, a chance. Go subscribe to him too. And I'm sure people after this one will be, what the fuck is? But it's not a Lita Ford channel. I'm going to tell you that right now there. But nor Jim Gillette. But anyway, thank you, Jake, for doing this. And there was no way I was doing this one alone. So I'm like, he's going to have to suffer with me. So anyway, on that note, guys, thank you, Jake, for doing this. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys stayed till the end. And on that note, we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.